excellent show live and free to air on Channel 5. In the headline, double main event for this one, Chloe Watts against Justine Loremont for the European flyweight title, and Nathan Gorman against Bogdan Bajrant in a heavyweight clash. Can't wait for this one. We close out 2023 live on Channel 5 with a bang. But first, before we speak to the main event guys, a couple of the undercard stars, a couple of Wasserman boxing rising talents. Introduce on the far right, making his debut on Friday night, Dan Toward, and to his left, a guy that's becoming increasingly familiar to viewers on Channel 5 and around the world, of course, Cody Smith. Dan, we'll start with you. We've signed you back in July. You've had to wait to make your debut, but now it's finally here, 2 days away. Just tell us how you're feeling about making your pro bout.
Yeah, excited. It's been 40 years in the making. I worked in the amateur boxing gym doors when I was 8 years old. Recently just turned 22 last month, and yeah, it's been a lifetime's worth of hard work, and here we are now. You only get one debut, and you know, looking to put on a top performance, and yeah.
So tell us, how have you been preparing mentally, physically to make this transition from the amateurs to the pros? Who have you been speaking to? Who's been giving you advice? And what are you expecting? Because people always talk about big differences between amateur and pro.
It's just about making them little adjustments, you know. Obviously, I had a prestigious amateur career. I feel like I finished my apprenticeship and picked up a lot of experience there. It's just about making them little adjustments, you know. A lot of young prospects on their debut are going to go out there and look for that stoppage, but you know, it's up to me to make that opportunity present itself, and yeah, just going to go out there, enjoy it. Like I say, it's a lifetime worth of hard work, and take it all in. Of course, I want to look at make a big performance, and yeah, just about enjoying it and make the most of it.
Carl, I guess it's not every day as a promoter you get to sign a 10-time national amateur champion. So when we had that opportunity to get down on the books and make it part of Team Was, I guess it's one that we jumped at. What are you most looking forward to about professional debut, and you know, what's the key for a sort of a story amateur fighter making that transition?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when I saw 10-time, I had to double check whether that was the truth, or whether it was some porcupines being told. 10-time, I've never actually heard of that before, and we're looking forward to Friday. And it's the right action to say you only get one debut, so go and enjoy it. Don't enjoy it too much, but at the same time, try and make a statement. Activity. We'll cover with Cody in a minute, but this is his 4th fight this year, and that's what we're looking to do. We're not looking to sign the whole country. We're looking to get people out, get them out regularly, and push them through. You know, look at the main event, look at Chloe boxing for a European Championship. That's the speed we want to take people at. Obviously, you know, every fighter has a different story. Every fighter has a different way of moving them forward. I think over the last 23 years, I've created over 20 world champions from scratch. So I've seen in different weights. So I've seen the stories from the beginning, and every fighter moves in a different way. You've got to go through bumps on the road, you've got to go through twists on the road. You know, they change advisors, they change trainers, they change managers, they change, well, they don't change parents, but they change their dog. You've got to go, that's part of the story, and you can't really map it out. You can only be there for them, you can only advise them, you can only pick that route, you can only be realistic about it. Maybe a couple of world champions who should never have been world champions, but good luck to them. I was happy. And so you've got to navigate, and that changes in the path of a career. You know, if you go in and sign a fighter and he's 20-0 and he's already number 2 in the world, it's a different story. But when you start from the beginning, those are the ones I love getting into, because you work with them, you know, and you build that relationship, and you, especially in this, is on a day-to-day level, and you go through that way, you know. I mean, ask Ricky. Ricky will tell you that's the truth, isn't it? You know, navigating careers, you know, and it's about reacting. You know, it's not all going to go your way, and when it doesn't go your way, you've got to sit down as a team and work out what way do I go from here. Hopefully, it's 30 fights, 30 wins, 30 knockouts, and 4 world titles at the end of 3 years. But reality is that, you know, we'll navigate around it. The main thing is that he's active, and build on that. Still got to double check that 10 amateur national titles. That's quite something. Yeah.
Dan's manager obviously said something quite headline-grabbing recently, where he believed that in your sort of 20 years collectively with Nissa in promoting and building fighters, Dan could be the best signing you've ever made.
That was Sam Jones. Yeah, well, Sam Jones is a good salesman. I like to think so. I like to think that every fighter I sign is going to be the best one I've ever signed. You know, we'll do our thing. He'll do his thing in the ring, and it will make some magic.
With all due respect, I know there's some great signings at Wasserman, but I really do believe that it will be your best signing. You know, Friday night is just a start. It's about, like I say, it's getting active, but down the line, I really do believe that you will be saying, thank God we were the ones who got this kid's signature.
And again, going back to the 10 titles, very proud to have that signature.
Thank you.
Great, I actually love that, Dan, that's brilliant. Moving on to Cody Smith, as we say, 3-0. Been a busy, active and impressive 2023, Cody. I guess you must be super eager to finish the year with a bang on Friday night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's, this is my life. It's what I do when I'm not in camp. I'm in the gym every day, so it's just I'm glad to be here and glad to keep getting that experience in. I'm looking forward to Friday night. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen in the 3 fights, Cody, explosive, really vicious performances. Haven't got the stoppage back in time. We've spoken before. You just feel it's coming close, and it'll be, you know, it'll be a line in the sand for your first year as a pro if you could get a first KO. Yeah.
I'll sometimes put a bit too much pressure on myself as well to get that stoppage. I think I'm trying to force it, and that ain't how it comes. I've trained a lot, changed a lot in my training this time. I've implied some strength and conditioning. That's helped me massively. I'm a lot more explosive, put some weight on, so I'm growing into a young man. People forget that when I signed with Aura, I'm only 18-year-old, you know what I mean? I'm still 19 at the minute, so I'm growing into a young man, and if it's there, I'll definitely take it. I do genuinely believe I hit hard enough. Well, I know I hit hard enough. I spar every week, and my sparring partners aren't divvying and I'm hurting them, so when I hit someone properly, because these journeymen are hard, they're always trying to survive them, they're trying to survive with their hands up, that if they get stopped they can't fight next week. So we're trying to survive, but when an opportunity comes and I hit someone on the chin, they're going to know about it, whether they go down or not. I don't know, depends on what the matter, but I do believe that stoppage is coming sooner rather than later.
Carl, I think collectively at Wasserman, one of the things that we've been most impressed about Cody is not only his performances in the ring, but it's outside, it's in the press conferences, at the weigh-in. He's got
it's the silk shirts, isn't it? I mean, only a Yorkshireman will wear a silk shirt when it's -5 outside.
That makes you slimmer and all.
There you go. It does. Yeah. I mean, I'd say the first thing I'd say is to his statement would be, enjoy being 18, 19, because I wish I was 18, 19 still. So don't try and grow old too fast. But I do think that in some of your performances, so you won every single round so far out of the 3 fights, but you push yourself a bit too much. You try and go for that knockout too much instead of letting it come. And that's a little bit the way you are, and we don't want to take that away, so keep doing what you're doing, you know.
And in terms of Cody's selling fights and selling himself, he's doing a great job so far, which is always part of the package.
He challenged Lyndon Arthur last time he was in the room, so yeah.
And also, you know, Cody's saying how hard he punches. I think in the previous interview, genuinely believes pound for pound at featherweight could be the hardest puncher, maybe equally as hard as somebody like Lara or somebody like. I mean, that sort of confidence must be great for you as the promoter to sort of tap into and run with, so to speak.
You want the confidence. You don't want them though putting themselves under too much pressure. Like I feel he has in the first few fights. He's put himself under that pressure. I've got to get him out of it. I'm delighted on every round he gets because a padded record's nice. Yeah, lovely. You know, you see him on Box Rec all the time. Padded record, 19-0, 19 KOs, never heard of one opponent. Don't help you. When you get into the deep end, you know, and I'll say again, for example, Chloe's prepared for Friday because she's been in tough fights. She doesn't need to worry about a thing on Friday night because she's been in those tough fights. When he gets called up for a British title, whatever title it is first, if he's just had knockovers, hasn't got the rounds in, where's he going to be? Even mentally, you know? So the fact he's taking rounds are welcome. Every round is great, you know? So don't worry about the knockouts. The knockouts will come, but just focus on getting that experience in, and those journeymen, the short ones, the tall ones, the different types of opponents. That's the experience you want to be building, so that when you get to, you've got double figures in fights, you want to feel like, I've been in with that sort of opponent before. It's not the first time I'm going that way. It's not going to be the first time I'm going the distance. It's, so you're prepared for it. It's not like, I've blown away everyone in the first round because Callum's got me a load of knockover jobs and they've all gone home to be bus drivers again. No, it's about gathering experience on the way to those belts. And that will be the deciding factor, no matter how confident you are, when you get to those belts, whether you win them or whether you fall short.
Hey Cody, just last one for you before we move on. 4 fights in 2023. Hopefully everything goes well Friday. What does 2024 look like when we sit back down in December 2024? Where do you want to be? Where do you want your career to be?
Well, I'm not sure what's in my contract, but I'll take anyone, and I'm not just saying that. I'll take any of these up and coming prospects. I'll take any title fight. That's up to Calla to take them matches at the right time, when he believes it's the right time. But I've sparred these guys, I've watched these guys from when I've been a young lad, and I'm not just saying it. I know I'm better than them. I've been in there with them or with people who have been in there with them, and I know I'm capable of winning an English, British title. Definitely this time next year, yeah, definitely.
100%. I mean, second half of the year, with the way he's going, and also with his amateur pedigree, both of them, but Dan as well, you can move them fast. It's a question of what sort of mentality is it. They want to take that risk early. Is it the right risk to tie that together? But with both of them, I don't worry about making that call and saying you've got that opportunity. I don't think anyone will say no.
And Dan, just a final word from you. Again, similar question. When we sit back down at this point next year, where do you want your debut 12 months as a pro to be at?
In 12 months' time, I just want to get busy, stay active, as many fights as possible, and yeah, just. I believe that would be hiding the deep end straight away. Like I say, it's up to Calais to pick the fights, and he'll push me as fast as I need to be pushed. But yeah, I'm just I live the life. So I'm ready whenever I'm ready when that phone goes fight.
Brilliant. Dan, Cody, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing your fights on Friday. Okay, live on Friday night on Channel 5 from 10 PM. It is the double main event. It's Chloe Watson against Justine Lallemand for the vacant European flyweight title, and of course the return for the man to my right, Nathan Gorman, in heavyweight action against Bogdan Myronet. Calla, as we said at the start of the press conference, we're going out with a bang in 2023. Some excellent fights on Channel 5. This promises to be as good as anything we've delivered so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, your platform's only as good as what you actually make of it. 10 million views we should have reached by Saturday night, or Friday night, sorry. 10 million this year watching boxing live and free on Channel 5 in association with Abrooks. That's some number. That's some number. That number doesn't help you unless you've got a great advert for the sport. And we've had Fight of the Year contenders, we've had some fantastic British title fights, we've seen Harlem Eubank, Lyndon Arthur capturing world title. So it's been a great year. We go on from there. I think we finished the year with a couple of fantastic storylines for Friday night. Start with the ladies. Chloe, the fighting pride of Birkenhead, has the opportunity to become against a very, very tough opponent. The first ever female British flyweight champion, European champion. Now that's a storyline in itself, but if you look at Chloe's story, the way she's come through in this pace, with a great team, with Ricky, the whole training team, fantastic guiding of not only the opponents, but also the way she's developed, the footwork, everything. And we get too technical now to press conference and all have it on all day, but you really got to go and look at her first fight and look at where she is from her last fight. That's what you want to see. Those are the storylines as well that attract people to the sport. And not only Birkenhead will be very proud if you do the business Friday night. I do believe we'll see, in a time where we saw Katie Taylor obviously at the weekend, a huge female event, but that female sport is growing and growing and growing, and I've been involved in it since the days of Cecilia Breckhams when she started. Took her to all the world titles. It was a fantastic journey, and I'm sure we can do similar with Chloe. This is just the beginning, but Friday night is of course a big part of it. The opponent, felt very tough split decision loss. Would have been the European champion, so she's fighting the best at this level. But I feel, and I know that Chloe has that in her armoury. She's got that team in her corner. She's been in tough fights already at this stage of her career, which equips her for a great performance Friday night. Again, going back to the beginning of what I was saying, that's the part where Channel 5 gets interesting, because that performance will be seen not by a few thousand people, but by a couple of million people. And that's the part where all that hard work in the gym and on the road pays off, when people actually see what you're doing, and that's how stars are created. So very excited for that on Friday night.
And we'll start with the other of the double main events, the return of Nathan Gorman against Bohdan Myronetson. Bohdan, welcome to Bolton. We saw you fight in Edinburgh against Cash Ali, and you caused a big upset. You were the underdog. Tell us about that performance. One of your best performances of your career?
Добрый день. Для меня это не был апсет, потому что мы с моей командой очень сильно готовились к этому бою. Это была хорошая возможность, и мы ей воспользовались. Поэтому, возможно, для кого-то это был апсет, но не для нас.
I'm just going to translate what he said. I don't feel like for me and my team that wasn't really an upset. We were ready, we were prepared for that fight. The opportunity came up, and we just took our chance, and there we are.
On Friday, you're fighting Nathan Gorman, who's fought for the British title, one of the British best heavyweights. What are you expecting from Nathan?
Ну, я уверен, что это будет как минимум очень интересный бой, потому что, как говорят, бои делают стили, точнее стили делают бои. Вот. И очевидно будет в первую очередь битва стилей. Я думаю, всем должно очень понравиться.
Well, I'm very excited for that matchup, because obviously styles make fights, and first of all, it's going to be a clash of styles, and everyone should love that fight for sure.
Nathan, welcome back. Over 12 months since we've seen you in action. Just tell us about what's been happening behind closed doors, and over the last 12 months, been working on things maybe. Can you tell us the improvements you're looking to make?
Yeah, the last 12 months, mate. Obviously after the Wardley loss, I went back home, I had Christmas off and stuff, I had some family time and things like that. Then I got back into the gym in the new year. I've just been trying to perfect what went wrong. Polish up on the things what I neglected in the Wardley fight, what I'd done wrong. And yeah, I've been looking forward to get out before Christmas ideally, and then I'm not looking past Friday, get Myronet's out of the way, then move on, and hopefully get back into that British contention.
Have you watched that fight with Myronet's against Cash Ali, and what did you take from it, if you have done?
Yeah, I've watched it a few times. I've watched a couple of these fights. I think he beat Cash Ali pretty easily, in my opinion. I will give him credit for that one, but I think Cash Ali didn't really turn up either. To me, he threw 5 or 6 punches around, and like he just said there, I think it'd be a clash of style, because I'm going to let my hands go at him, and I imagine he's going to do the same, so you'll have to tune in Friday.
Talk to us about the Wardley fight, Nathan, and what from your point of view went wrong. It was a 3-round shootout, it was exciting for the crowd, but obviously it didn't go your way. What would you have done differently?
Truthfully, I should have stayed behind my jab more and been more, that sounds silly, boring, you know what I mean, gone through the motions. I was picking him apart after the first round. I remember I got back to the corner and I said to the corner team, I said, I'm going to stop him. I said, in 2 or 3 rounds, the famous words. And I can remember I went back on the ropes to throw a big uppercut, and he caught me with a right hand over the top. And it's the heavyweight division, and then you get caught, you can't. I got back up, but the fight got stopped. But if I could go back in time, I would have used my jab more and just busted him up, from that way, been more of a heavyweight instead of trying to shoot. I played into his hands because Wardley's a bit of a wild card. When he throws big punches, he sits down, he punches, throws big bombs. So what I should have done really was just use boxing ability, but we live and learn, don't we?
Did you expect Wardley to get past Adelaide recently? Were you watching that fight thinking that could have been me almost?
Oh, definitely. Kicked myself up 1,000 times. But yeah, I knew he was going to beat Wardley. I knew he was going to beat Adelaide Wardley, yeah. Pretty easily as well, to be fair, wasn't it? But yeah, but we'll get the win Friday and we'll go from there. Hopefully a rematch down the line.
Callum, rematch down the line, is that something that's on the agenda potentially for Nathan, or are we looking for different opportunities? Lots of good fights domestically, at least for Nathan potentially.
No, I mean, definitely the rematch. But let me say a few things on that. It was a not nice dressing room after the fight, was it? It was one of them fights. You know, watched the first round, sat down. Eddie sitting next to me, weren't so smug then after the first round. And we just had it, we just felt we had it. I know it sounds strange, but after the first round I thought we got this. And unfortunately, Nathan is still a young man, he's got lots of natural testosterone left in that body of his. And it got the better of him. He went out second round, he's kept on throwing bombs, and I'm thinking, well, maybe he puts him away now. After the first round, it looked like we were going to. So you can say, okay, for the neutral, that's what you want to see. But 100%, it should have been off the jab, and the man would have fallen down himself. Unfortunately, it's heavyweight boxing. When you open up like that and you catch one, and Wardley, credit to him, fantastic puncher. He took that opportunity, and that was it. Game over. You know, that's why heavyweights are exciting. So this is now, you know, moving forward. It's not the end of the world, because we've seen that at that level he can have the better of that man. He could have easily won that fight. So we know we're at the right level, but it's about fine-tuning, it's about moving forward. It's an exciting time, obviously, for the heavyweight division at the moment. There's lots of activity, there's lots of interesting events being put on. So it's something straight back in the mix of it. But at the same time, we're going to have to navigate that course. But let's face it, Nathan is still a top six to eight British name in heavyweight boxing, end of, you know. And that's something that we've got to move forward. What better way to do it than to go out on the Friday night? And fortunately for Nathan, it's not just going to be about getting a win, it's going to be about making a statement Friday night, live on a big free-to-air channel. Even more unfortunately, we've got a fella here who's got a lot of confidence coming off that win. I know he said it was expected, but that's the way it should be in boxing. You should expect to win any fight. But you know, I think it did shook a lot of people in this country when he beat Cash Ali. But Nathan's a different level, and it's now over to Nathan. He's got that platform Friday night. He's got to use that platform and make a statement. You know, this sport isn't always about results; it's about perception as well. So people forget very quickly. You make a big statement in front of a couple of million viewers on Friday night, they're not going to remember that Wardley fight very quickly. So we move on. But we move on Friday night in the right way, and then we'll see where we attack and how we attack, whatever. It's going to be straight back in the mix of British football. But that's not the end goal either. You know, this man is a top heavyweight prospect. You know? And from the Klitschko brothers to David Haye to Baluev to Alexander Povetkin, I've had 6-7 heavyweight world champions. At this stage of his career, his potential, if you look at the handwork, especially, again, I know it's only 3 minutes and I know I'm slightly biased, but go look at that first round against Wardley and tell me that is not a very gifted heavyweight contender. It's about control after that. He didn't listen to the corner. Sorry, Nathan, I'm going to give you a bit of a public bashing here, but he didn't listen to the corner. He's all over, you can see it in his eyes, you can see that he's got Wardley's bleeding from the nose, he's busting him up through the middle, he's having success with almost every shot he's from. So to come out in the second round, it's almost like, you know, I get it, but you know what you did wrong that night? You got carried away. And you can get carried away in certain weight classes and sometimes get away with it, but in heavyweights, you can't. You take one down the pipe, mate, you are going to have a very difficult chance of coming back. And that's what happened. But hey, we move on, we roll together, and that's what we said after the fight. That's what we're going to be doing now.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that heavyweight clash live and free to air on Channel 5 from 10 PM on Friday. Okay, now to the main event, Chloe Watson versus Justine Olemont for the vacant European flyweight title. Great fight, great breakout moment potentially for Chloe, of course, but again, as Calla said, up against very experienced former title challenger. And we'll start with Justine with the help of the translator. Justine, how confident are you of victory on Friday?
Justine, est-ce que tu te sens confiante? Yes, sir. Yes, of course. She knows why she is here.
And your prediction for the fight, would it be a KO victory or points?
Victoire par KO, victoire au point. She is here for fighting, for winning before the limit, so by KO.
And has she watched a lot of Chloe Watson fight?
Est-ce que tu as vu les combats à Chloé? Yes, j'ai seen.
And does she think she's a good boxer or what's she got?
Est-ce que tu penses que c'est une bonne boxeuse? C'est une bonne boxeuse, mais elle a encore rencontré personne. She is a good fighter, but she never sees a person like Justine.
Chloe, Justine says that you've never seen anybody or fought anybody like her level. What would your response be to that?
We'll see on Friday. I've had a lot of good fights already as a professional and a lot of good fights as well as an amateur. I believe she's never seen anyone like Chloe Watson, so I'm looking forward to show you that on Friday.
Just talk about preparations, Chloe. How has this camp been? How are you feeling, 48 hours away from the biggest fight of your career?
Yeah, everything's just came at the right time, to be honest with you. Feeling the strongest I've ever felt, the fittest I've ever felt, and yeah, I just can't wait to fight.
As Calla mentioned there about Birkenhead, one of the most sort of fertile breeding grounds for boxers in the country, a proud area, produced many champions. You could be the next, and potentially, maybe the best. Is that how you feel and looking at the situation?
Yeah, definitely, and they're so good, like, with getting behind me and supporting me, and they're not afraid to make some noise. So I know they're going to be there Friday, and yeah, making some noise and getting loud. Definitely,
for people tuning in on Channel 5 on Friday, you'll hear Chloe's raucous fans all the way through that fight for definite. Calla, 6-0, Chloe. Why was now the opportunity to let her off the leash, so to speak, and go for the first title of her career?
I think the level she's been operating at with the opponents is one that gives us confidence. I think Chloe in herself is very confident. And she's, like I said before, she's got a great team with Ricky and the whole training team around her. It's not Domino's Pizza either. You sort of, when you get that shot, you've got to take it. And we looked at it, and I think Chloe was sort of, why we've been asking.
I was looking at it like it was a Domino's Pizza.
It's arrived, and it's got an extra thick crust to it as well. But no,
barbecue chicken,
Domino's that's the one. That's what barbecue chicken. Garlic and herb.
But we'll have one on Saturday.
Make me hungry now. I'm getting starving. Garlic and herb dip. But no, joking aside, when I see something like that, you can't choose these things. You don't. If you get a call for a vacant title. European Championship, you've really, at that stage, you've got to be taking it, and like I said, Chloe, it was a redundant question why we've been asking, so it was an easy one to make. Yes, fantastic, I thought she should be European champion already. I thought she beat the Italian lady. In fact, one judge had it by 8 rounds, I think, and the other 2 had it around against her, which was a very interesting Italian decision, but say no more. But at the same time, that's what you've got to go through, and we believe in Chloe. We know Chloe's going to do it, and again, it's nice that she's going to be the first champion of the world in Birkenhead. This is will be the first ever British European flyweight champion. So all the marbles here, all live on Channel 5, free to air. Friday night, don't miss it.
Absolutely, Calla, and female boxing in this country, I mean globally, but particularly in this country on these shores, is booming at the moment. And we believe Chloe is the future star of that, you know, of that code. But I mean, in terms of Chloe's style, it's all action, it's perfect for TV. And you know, Channel 5 viewers are in for a treat because it is all action, on the front foot, speed, power, viciousness, it's everything.
It is, but I can't, I mean, I know, you know, obviously Katie Taylor's very much still the flag bearer of the female sport at the moment, but you know, at the same time, I can't think of any other female prospect, champion, challenger, whatever, who's going to have the amount of viewing numbers that Chloe's had at this stage of her career. So I think we've gone exactly the right way about it. But like I said, Friday night, you know, it's all about the gold, and Friday night we're going to dig some gold.
Chloe, final word to you before we break for head-to-head pitches. Justine was confidently predicted that this won't go the distance. Scheduled for 10 rounds, of course. What's your prediction for the fight on Friday?
If we get the opportunity to go for the stoppage, I definitely won't be holding back. You know, it's going to be a night to remember come Friday. Fight for my first title, so if I can do it in style, then that would be great.
Sorry, Tom, we should mention as well, obviously, you spent some time putting the Everton women's team through their paces recently, and as a result, their results have picked up and winning a draw since you've been in with them. What did you do? What was the trick?
You know, you can just say I've got that touch, that winning touch.
You need to come help Tottenham as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
We don't understand.
Okay, so we'll break now for head-to-head pitches. Thank you very much. Remember, Friday night, 10 o'clock live on Channel 5. Nathan Gorman against Bogdan Myronets. Chloe Watson against Justine Lolomon. Do not miss it live and free to air from 10 PM.